What's up, everybody? Courtney here with a New Year's Day Vinyasa Yoga class for you. So let's get started. Join me on all fours. Wiggle and sway, brightening all 10 fingers, grounding to the tops of the feet. And we're going to move with the breath, inhaling arch. Exhaling, scoop the belly around. Specifically, inhale, unlock those elbows and draw the chest forward and up. Exhaling, press into the inner palm, really lift the mid-back and spread the shoulder blades wide. Filling ourselves up with the inhale. Emptying it out with the exhale. Just two more. Now taking yourself right back into a neutral spine. Reach the crown of the head forward. Do melt the shoulder blades back. And let's step our way one by one into plank. First few breaths, a little rock, sway right to left, front to back. Really waking up all sides of you. Most specifically, the core engages. Feeling that support from front to back as you exhale. Holding steady, do take another cycle of breath in your plank. And then lingering on the inhale, let's lift the booty up and back, exhaling, downward facing dog. Maybe shake your head out, sigh it out. Great time to flutter the lips and relax the face, the jaw, the throat. Feeling that fresh start that comes with the new year. Flow forward, let's find plank. Right away, bend the knees a lot, drive the sit bones up and back, downward facing dog. Firming the legs, inhale, flow, forward plank. Soft knees, reach the hips, down dog. One more. And then walking hands to meet feet. And a little shake of your head, yes, no. This time, hands on shins or blocks. Inhale, join me in Ardha Uttanasana, the half fold. Exhaling, hinge at the hips, melting over the legs, Uttanasana, the intense forward bend. Inhaling, expand. Taking some of the intensity out of it, soft knees, soft neck, soft face. 3 more, inhale. And exhale. Ocean sounding breaths. Last time. Now bend the knees a lot. Roll with me over the next couple of inhales. That aggravates the back, lengthen to lift and step. And over the next couple of exhales, rock and sway. Hands can come together at the heart, integrating all sides of you. And do gently shrug and release. Let's do a couple more. Finishing up, maybe with that open mouth sigh. And then slip one hand to your belly, one to your heart if you're comfortable with that. Feeling the rise, the fall of the breath. Letting each exhale help you to let go. Creating space for prana to flow. If you've set a New Year's resolution or intention, to allow that to become your sankalpa. But noting when you are gripping, choosing to soften the attachment around that idea. Giving yourself grace if you do happen to fail or fall. Anticipating it so that we can get back on track again and again. Reminding ourselves that we are human beings, working toward balance, not able to attain that perfect state at all times. Inhale, reach the arms. Hinging at the hips, exhale, fold. Inhale, chest out. And exhale, melt in. Inhale, root down, reach up. And exhale, palms to prayer. Inhale. And again, dive on the exhale. Inhale, we expand. And exhale, we release. Inhale, expanding all the way to the top. And exhaling, hands to the heart. Continuing to get things moving. Let's twist a little bit here. Inhale, reach. To open to the right. Now your back arm can circle, or both can reach. And exhale, open left. As you saw, we have to adjust based on walls and space. Inhale, diving. Exhale, folding. Inhale, chest out. Exhale, melting. Root and rise on the inhale. Join the palms on the exhale. Similar but different. Inhale, reach up. Twisting left first. Inhale, back arm can circle or both reach. Twisting right, or whichever way you didn't. Inhale, take the arms up. Folding, take it down. Inhale, chest out. And exhale, we melt in. Root down, reach up. Exhale, palms to the heart. Take another inhale here. Maybe fluttering out the lips, let it go. And one more, choosing to soften. Releasing that grip. Inhaling, take the arms up. Just a swan dive again, melt it down. Inhale, chest out. Walking it to a down dog, take a few breaths to get there. On the inhale, let's reach the right leg to the sky. Roll the hip open for a breath or two, adding some kicks, circles, anything fancy like flipping it out if you want to go there. I'm going to do the figure eight, weaving in a little extra range of motion for the hip. And then eventually come back to center, side two. Again, maybe as far as flipping the dog, wild thing. Maybe just kicks, circles, figure eight style. Then bring it all back to neutral. Do take it to the knees. Hands a little forward of the shoulders, knees a little back of the hips. Sufi circles, connecting breath and movement consciously. Again, this idea of the Vinyasa style, helping our body to move with that natural rise and fall of the breath. Back bending, generally when we inhale. Forward bending, generally when we exhale. Take that with you through neutral once or twice. And again, we'll step into our plank, this time maybe adding a little circle even in that plank pose. You can just rock, sway, even put the knees down if you need to. Or maybe take that circle I mentioned. Once, twice one way, once, twice the other. Firing up the legs. Feel the inner thigh roll to the sky. Feel the navel draw in as you breathe out. And maybe reach a little more through the crown, pressing through the heels. And exhaling, downward facing dog from there. Taking the right leg up. This time bring the right knee to the right tricep, holding in that core work for another couple of breaths. Heel lifts toward the bum, the pelvic floor engages, feeling that idea of lifting from the base of you. Now take the leg again to the sky. Passing through that shape, do step wide for lizard. Turning the foot out. A few breaths again to rock, sway, or circle. Back knee can come down, slide the foot back, take the heart forward. I'm using my blocks on their short height. Always grab a firm pillow, or of course just use fingertips here. Maybe you're actually able to reach the earth without strain. You can take it further, rocking to the outer edge of the baby toe, the heel. Pressing gently on your inner thigh, not the knee itself, but the inner leg. Maybe sweep that right arm up and over, catching that back foot. If that's too much, too fast, don't, right? Easing back to the variation that works. A little kick back of the foot on the inhale might feel important here, opening the heart. And then exhale, easing the heel closer to you. And for me, that generally works when I've got my hands on the floor, but not so much the forearms. If you want to play with it, do. Otherwise, again, taking what resonates right now. And then a half or full split. Right foot's going to come toward the midline, several centimeters. Right hip draws back, right heel forward, Hanumanasana. Pressing that right thigh bone down toward the earth, maybe use your thumb to help. And as mentioned, the half split, or the half monkey, Ardha Hanuman, is here. For the full split, if you have the range of motion, sometimes just sliding it out works. But that is more rare than typical. So easing in, right thigh might land on the block on its short, medium, or high height. You can always stack two. Back toes can curl under to really check if you're in neutral. Arms could reach up or interlace fingers. Maybe taking that to the sky or behind the back. And spend just a couple more breaths letting the split, the monkey pose happen. Notice where you're tending to react. Can you soften those specific spots? Another breath if you're still with me. Using the next few exhales to ease out of it. Considering joining me in a plank pose. If for any reason that's too much right now, just step to a down dog. From plank, we're going to shift forward using the strength of the core, the legs, and the arms. Pass through stick, chaturanga, and land. Reach the legs back, pull the heart forward, cobra, or maybe continue to ground, taking another inhale for up dog. And eventually we push back, either using knees or rolling right over the feet, down dog. One extra breath before side two. Left leg lifts. Starting with that work in the core, the obliques, knee toward tricep. Root to rise, lifting the heel, feeling that sense of the pelvic floor engaging for another breath or two. Notice if any other areas are overdoing it, however, the face, the shoulders, the fingers. Take the leg to the sky. Passing through tiger, step wide, lizard. Adjusting, using our blocks, our padding as helpful. Rock, sway, even circle here. Sliding the foot back, heart comes forward. And maybe you're on those blocks, maybe not. Perhaps you started to rock to the outer edge of the left foot, spreading through the toes, and maybe even adding a little extra nudge of the inner thigh, letting that left glute and hip stretch. And perhaps this is it for another 5, 6+ breaths. Maybe you're continuing on, reaching, opening up the heart, even catching that back foot, which as I mentioned could be done on fingertips, a different height of the blocks. And perhaps you find that that's too much right now and you're going to back off instead. Take a few moments assessing, being very honest with ourselves, satya, as is referenced in Sanskrit, being practiced. Always with compassion, always with that svadhyaya, self-inquiry, while being really our own biggest teachers, our own biggest fans. Releasing. Left foot walks toward the midline. Using that idea again of scanning, self-inquiry, maybe left thumb to left thigh, hands on the earth, the blocks. Perhaps you're starting to slide it out at some point for Hanumanasana, the full monkey, full split pose. Taking your time to get in. Noting you can feel like a different body some days, depending on what you've been up to, or even a long-term imbalance, perhaps an old injury. Not judging, but assessing. Being honest with ourselves if we need a different approach, different props, a whole different variation. Settling in, let the release happen. Maybe sighing to soften those spots that do overwork. Last breaths. Easing out of it, take an inhale or two to rise. Another exhale or two, checking in. What do you need? What do you want right now? Maybe it is that flow. Stepping from here to a plank. Take an inhale, shift forward. Exhaling, almost graze the ribs, lower halfway or all the way. Inhaling, root and rise, cobra or up dog. Exhaling, take it back, down dog. Little rock, little sway, maybe a fluttering of the mouth. Lift high on tippy toes once again. Spring your knees, look forward, step around. Inhale, chest out. And exhale, dive it in. Root to rise on the inhale. Hands towards your heart. Maybe lingering here, maybe placing again one at the belly, one at the chest. Perhaps switching it if you always do the same one. Seeing that sankalpa, that intention. And maybe it is just being more present. In my opinion, the best way is to come back to the rise, the fall of prana. To be very clear, something as simple as the phrase, I am inhaling, I am exhaling. Letting oxygen, energy, life force, as it's referenced in yoga, flow. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, chest out. Your choice to step or float, take it back and lower Chaturanga Dandasana, the stick, halfway or all the way. Inhale, Bhujangasana or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, Cobra or up dog. And exhale, do take it back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Take another moment, reaching your booty up and back. You are going to step or jump again, this time into Malasana, the yoga squat. Kind of a frog-like movement, getting playful. Feet turning out 45, 50 degrees. Swaying, rocking, take another breath, 2 being here. And then rooting and rising, inhale. Sit back into those heels, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do a few more. Longevity Kriya. Wonderful way to start the day, or really at any time as needed. Great way to set a new year. And as we come on down, this time add a little twist, reaching right, opening left. Maybe circling that wrist once or twice. Left hand comes down, right arm's reaching up. And maybe circling that wrist once or twice. Releasing. From here, Bakasana, Crow. We did this in my recent Power Flow. Noting you can always step on a block if you need it. You can also put a little crash pad, if you will, in front of you if you're nervous, as can happen here. Rock it forward, elbows graze the midline. Hugging the navel to the spine, the pelvic floor does lift. A lot like the leg in lizard, or of course in Malasana, hugging those triceps and obliques to the bone. Come on down. Maybe you're able to play again. Seam block without the block, or perhaps adding that. And if you tend to go down, as we often do, think of going forward instead, like you're flying off the branch, not severe. Playing with arms getting a little straighter, lifting a little higher. And then float it down. Take another moment just to be, and then we'll take a standing fold, lifting your hips, dropping your head. Interlace fingers behind the back and take another breath or two just to release and let go. Rooting to rise, inhale, come up. And do take an exhale here. If you're up for adding a little inversion work, that's where we're going to go. Taking it toward a wall is going to be safest. Otherwise, maybe you continue on with a video that seems a little more mellow. Something like Yoga to Relax Deeply would be a wonderful way to segue. Those of you who are curious about what we're doing, maybe you just want to observe at first. Coming to kneeling. Taking a few moments just to stretch the neck as I talk about headstand. Rolling it out, shoulder to shoulder, ear to ear. Maybe this becomes the next minute or two, just letting this be about releasing that space that is vulnerable. If it's really sore, today might not be your day to attempt this pose. If you've got a chronic issue, another reason to be really mindful that something along the lines of dolphin or simple neck stretches could be enough. With that said, loop the shoulders back, maybe peek forward if you're not clear on what dolphin is in the yoga practice. For our purposes, coming onto the forearms, palms flat, curl the toes, lift your hips, and take a few breaths here. Dragging those forearms into a position that feels no wider than the shoulders. Hugging the navel in as you breathe out. And maybe you want to add some core to feel the engagement, a plank version of the dolphin. You can always walk between the two once or twice. This could also evolve into something like Sphinx, helping to open the heart. Now to go further, setting up for what's referenced as the tripod headstand. Something you might even be familiar with from Crow if you're in the more advanced asana practitioner category, and you want that today. So from here, we're going to make sure that the crown of the head is near the floorboard, but not at the floorboard, right? We want to honor that little bit of space that we need for the natural curve in the neck. If you're wondering, where's my crown, right? Thumbs can come to the ears, middle fingers together from there. That soft spot, that flatter spot is the crown. Now bring your hands in that chaturanga-like position, elbows hugging the midline, rocking for a moment to really find where in fact it is. Curl the toes, lift your hips, traps on the back, navel hugging in as you breathe out, the core is engaged. Maybe lift one knee, just letting that knee hang toward the tricep, the arm still hugging the bone. Second side. And then instead you're just tapping one foot, the other, play with that for the next few breaths. If you can, start to take your heels up. Now your bum might graze the wall, it might not, but do what you can to just let the heels lightly rest. Everything else is active, reaching up through the tailbone, lifting the shoulder blades, using those palms, the triceps, the biceps to hug and stabilize. Any variations, including legs wide, a little easier at the wall, a little trickier in the middle of the room, of course. 5, 10 breaths, playful movement if there's anything else you want to weave in, including floating heels gently away from the wall. Coming down without popping up, let yourself release to a child's pose. Same idea if you're coming out of dolphin, plank dolphin. A few breaths to settle. Maybe join me for a last down dog or two, a last vinyasa or two. To be clear, releasing the neck can include this flow. Inhaling plank. Elbows graze the ribs, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, take it back, down dog. Last breath, last vinyasa. And then let's twist. Right arm sliding underneath the left, threading out the needle. And after a few breaths in your twist, side 2. Eventually easing back to neutral. Maybe you want a few more sippy grinds, maybe not. Maybe you're ready to come on down for Shavasana. Or join me in Viparita Karani, one more little inversion here. So letting your body come to the wall. Sit back. So again, you're not right at the floorboard, but close. Heels up. Maybe legs out. Give yourself a little time to calm, ground. Come back to that Sankalpa and let yourself just be. Happy New Year, y'all. Wishing you health and lots of perspective. Namaste.